Is that possible to see on the side here? Here's the case. Are this middle here, right? So I'm very happy that you guys choose to stay in my activity, okay? So usually I tell my students I cannot learn English for you, right? You have to learn English for yourself. And this activity is very important because here you have the opportunity to practice, right? But today, since we're doing this activity in class, I want to do something different, right? So I have some videos. I will ask you a few questions. Please participate. I want to hear your opinion, okay? So I have a short video that I want to show you, and then I will be asking you a question about the video, okay? Don't be shy. Tell me what you think about the video, okay? All right. I'm going to play the video. Another short one. Very nice one as well. So this game is very easy, right? Nobody said anything. So very only music. But every family has a story. So what's your story? So do you guys know anything about your family, like your grandpa, grandma? Nice story. I'm gonna share one story from my family, okay? So I'm gonna share one story from my family. All right. So let's see, put it here. Do that again. So this is my this is my grandpa. He already died, right? My grandpa. My grandpa used to work for the trail company in Brazil. So he was working there in the time of the Second World War II. And at the time, the war time, people kind of offered him money to do something not very good. This is called bribery. They tried to bribe him to do something not very honest. But my father, my grandpa, they never get the money to do those dishonest things. So honesty was very important for him. So he could have been a very rich man. Because if he accept the bribery, lots of money to do something, he would be rich. But he never accepted. So he teaching my father and then me, right? I'm his grandson. So honesty is a very important value, right? So, and then when I saw pictures of him, I'm proud of him because he was honest, integrity. Right? He has integrity. So my grandpa worked in this company, right? So, and because he did not accept money, he was transferred to a very small city. See, there's not even a peer in the map. So small. They kind of punished him in the company for not accepting bribery. But he was doing the right thing. You understand? In this world, people try to offer up. Let's cheat on the exam, right? No teacher is not seeing. I want to look up. Okay. Like cheating, right? So maybe the teacher will not catch you cheating. But if you do this, you know it's wrong, right? So I'm proud to say that my father was an honest man. So now, even, okay, so this is one very interesting story. And today, for example, I asked my brother, go there and take a picture of this. So my father, for example, this is a rail for the train. So we use this as putting the door, right? The door don't close, put it there, right? So to prevent the door to close. So this is a memory of my grandpa. And also, this is the telegraph. I don't know how many of you heard about this one. This is how they send messages in the time of my grandpa. They didn't have those things. So here's a telegraph. Yes, I got it. So listen, and he was expert. He was sending a message using this. I don't know, right? This is a Morse code. So this is a memory of my grandpa. So if you still have this, I asked, go, my brother, go there, take a picture. I want to show it to my students. So we go there, take a picture, and here it is, the picture. So this is where my grandpa worked. So I kind of say, for example, my grandfather did not accept bribery, right? He could have been a rich man, but it was more important to him to be an honest person. So money cannot buy respect. It can make your life easier. I don't accept bribery. So I'm glad, very happy that my grandpa made a right decision. Do you understand? Okay. So now I want to. Any one of you have any story from your family that you want to share? Very small story. Can you share today a story from your family? Any one of you? Okay, here's a volunteer.
Explain my grandfather and my grandmother. My grandfather came to World War II and to become a soldier to defend the Japanese army. And also he took part in the Belgian campaign. And received a medal and married with my grandmother.
So do you still have the medal?
Yes, I still have a medal. Okay. And also have modern stories from it. You know the COVID.
Oh, okay.
The COVID-19. The pandemic. And at that time, it's so funny that we don't get any sick in any of the birthdays in the new year at January 1st. All of them get the pandemic, and we all stay at home.
Okay, funny story. Anyone else wants to share? Okay, here, another one.
I want to see my parents, my father and my mother go to my mother's. My mother's birthday is I think my father is a great person. So the person is different to me. Let me be a friend.
Okay, so anyone else have a family story you want to share? Usually, for example, we get inspired. Oh, my grandpa did a good thing. I am inspired to do better because of him. So usually we get nice stories from our family members, right? That inspire us to be better. So anyone else wants to share a story of a family member? Anyone? Okay, so let's move on to the next one, okay? So let's be watching the next video, okay? One more video. So who can tell me, what did you understand from this video? So no English needed, right? No, not even one word in English there. So what do you understand from this video? What's happening? Huh?
That's first, he's talking about a person's life, and it is really into the book that, and one person wants to search it.
Okay, let's pause. You're right. Okay, let's make a pause. For example, every major happening in our life generates a document, right? So when you're born, you get a birth certificate, right? So when you marry, you get a marriage certificate. When you die, you get a death certificate, right? So every major, for example, when you graduate from university, you get what? When you graduate here, you get a degree, right? It's a diploma, right? You get a degree certificate, right? So every major event in your life is going to generate a document. For example, and those are the stories of people getting born, married, getting a degree, dying. So they generate a document, and then the document goes in a book, goes in a government office, or goes to a civil recording, right? Sometimes in church, sometimes, and then there are people in the world go there and take a picture of those documents, right? And they are indexing. So they call family search, indexing. So you can go in the computer and find documents from maybe your grandpa, for example, in my country. A lot of people, my grandpa is from Portugal. He went to Brazil. So, oh, he's not from Brazil. How can I go to Portugal? I don't need to go to Portugal. Go to the computer. Maybe those people photographic, because they're taking pictures all around the world, making this available, right? So, so I want to show you something here, right? So here's the next. For example, I want to invite you to get involved, right? For example, this is a website, how it works. Our computer finds names in old documents, but they often make mistakes. Reviewing the names and fixing mistakes is an easy way to help discover the ancestors. So, for example, here's a picture of a very old document, right? So you can go to this website and say, oh, this is Angela. And say yes. So you're helping these people kind of indexing the information. Maybe you're doing this as a volunteer. Right? I did this. I went to this website and did a lot of volunteering, like indexing the document. So maybe it's not for my family, but maybe somebody in the other side of the world is looking for, oh, somebody did it, indexing something for my family. So that's very nice, right? We're helping each other find our ancestors, right? So how it works here? For example, this is a family search, family tree. Every person deserves to be remembered. For example, I hear two students here sharing a story of their own family, right? You don't want those stories to be forgotten. So you want to preserve the story, right? Maybe you have a picture. Maybe you want to write something, oh, my grandpa did this, my grandpa participated in the World War, he got a medal, right? He did a good thing, he defended his country, right? So you don't want those stories to be forgotten. So you want to preserve the story, right? We help make that possibility with Family Search Family Tree, the world's largest online family tree. All information about more than 1.2 billion ancestors. So I went to this website and I opened an account. So I put my family there, right? So here's me. So my two kids, Bernardo and Isaac, right? And then here I have my father and my mom. And here's my grandpa, the one that I showed you the telegraph, right? They work in the rail, the company, right? So here's my grandpa, my grandma. So you can go there, put some pictures, you can write a story, put it there, right? So this website is a secure place for for example, trying to protect the information. So if you want to lose the information, you can open an account. I know that you can do this in China. I do it from here because a lot of websites outside of China you cannot access it, but you can access this one. So you can go there, open an account in the family search, and put your information, put your picture there, put your grandpa, your mama, and try to make your family, right? Put your family there. You can put, for example, you have a picture, right? Here, your brother is not here, your brother is South China. Oh, you want to share, right? So you can put the picture here and share with the family. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do here. For example, This is another way of showing, right? So this is one way, like the family is like this, vertical. Now I'm doing a different one. This is me, right? Me and my ex-wife, me and my two kids. So this is the side, this is my father, and this is my the side of my ex-wife here. So this is a family tree in another direction. So you can make print something like this. This is your family tree. You can print it, put in a frame, and put it in your room, something nice. When people visit your home, oh, so you're here in the middle. Marcelo Gameiro is me, right? So here's my father, my mom, right? So here's the parents of this is my grandpa and my grandma from the mother's side, and this is my grandpa and grandma from the father's side. This is my great-grandfather. This is my great-grandfather. So it goes very, the more you can do it, right? So you can make cool frames like this, very nice. You can display the tree in the different ways. Okay, stories that you share here will be preserved for future generations. So you can put things there, they will make sure that it stays there available for future generations. That's a cool thing. So let's watch the video number 3, okay? And let's have something else to share.
I admonish all families, search out your heritage. It's important to know as far as possible those who came before us. We discover something about ourselves when we learn about our ancestors.
The first explosion was bad. All the sailors had been on deck, was out in the water. I was alone, so I had the boat running, and I reached down and take hold of their hand and pull them up in the boat. And that's what I was doing the rest of the raid.
You know, when people bring up Pearl Harbor, I remember a lot of respect that I have my grandfather.
Everyone has things that they've gone through, things that they've survived. You know, finding out these stories from stories or journals or any kind of information that might be passed down, it really can help us with the things that we deal with.
Well, if he had enough brave and courage to be in Pearl Harbor, then I guess I can go through this little trial. I kind of feel like it's one of my traits, you know, to have courage, and I kind of get it from him, and I love him so very much.
Knowing his experiences really helped him be a little bit more real to me.
For example, the granddaughter, right? She gets courage from what? From the story of his grandfather, right? His grandfather in the Pearl Harbor, the World War, right? So he was able to go through a very difficult time in the war zone, right? And she, because of the story of her grandfather, she gets courage to deal with her life problems as well. Maybe, I don't know, if you know stories from your family members, ancestors, it's going to give you courage to go through life, right? So that's important, right? So for example, maybe you want your story to be available to your son, grandson, great-grandson, right? So who is going to preserve this story? So if you write it down, put some pictures in this website, they will make sure that it will be available for the future generations. Anyone wants to say anything? Maybe you want to share a story that you remember from somebody? I want to hear you guys, right? You guys want to share something here? Like, for example, do you know anything cool about your great-grandfather or something like that? You want to share? Anyone? Okay, so let me go to another one. Okay, this is another video. Yes, okay.
I really was heartbroken to see my office totally devastated. It was empty. Only the floor was left. Well, I cannot depict how happy I am, how grateful I am when I received that hard drive. To me, it was an answer to my prayer.
ɛbɛboa yɛn akyirimafoɔ no ɛba no sɛ me nana no a ɔdi kan baa sɛ mennim mmerɛ kwan kɔfoɔ sɛ bɛtena a ɛme ntumi hu.
I hope that what you'll take away from this is an understanding that I am one of those millions of nameless, faceless people who are wandering the planet, searching for our family and our roots. And I thank God for you, because if not for you, I'm not sure where I would be today.
So who can tell me what this video is showing? What did you understand from this video? Okay.
You have a responsibility to record this history about your family, because without your recording this history, maybe they will not find your future generation, maybe will not remember it, and they can find courage in their ancestors or
Yeah, you're correct. So, but the main point here, for example, they show you, for example, the world is not very stable, right? So we have wars, we have hurricanes, we have, for example, a flooding, right? So, for example, they show a person in the Philippines, right? They have a flooding. She lost everything in her office. So, for example, but because they have a copy of her information, so they went back to her and gave her a hard drive with the information that she lost it. For example, if you have your birth certificate of your grandpa, everything in your home, right, in a book, maybe comes a fire or in your house, you lost the information. So if you don't put in a safe place, right, for example, maybe go to this website before taking it, put in there. So they will make sure, right, it's going to be available for future generations, even though some disaster may happen, volcanic eruption, flooding, fire, war, whatever. So anything can happen to destroy information. And this organization is doing this for 125 years. You don't have to pay anything. Just go there, record the information. You can put some old pictures from your grandpa, grandma there, right? So you see, for example, they're doing this in Africa. They show up in Jiapu, in China, right? So they going all over the world, talking to offices, churches, taking pictures of old documents. And you can be a volunteer. You can go to this website. For example, they have AI trying to recognize, but then they ask people, right, normal people, to go there. Oh, is this information correct? So you go there and help them indexing. Maybe you're not indexing on your own family, but somebody else is searching. Oh, somebody did this for me. So when I started doing and searching my own family, a lot of information was already there because somebody else did it for me. So I can go there and look for somebody else. So this is a nice volunteer work that you can do. So anyone wants to share anything? Oh, you was correct. Okay, so let's go another one here. Okay, so you're gonna watch this video here because I do have some concerns. So okay, let's watch the video first and then talk later. Okay, so video number 5. Okay, what do you guys understand from this video? Anyone? I don't want to, only them, okay.
I think this video is about no matter we experience with this here, we should take a step to make friends to produce the connection.
Yes, okay. So this video shows something that is what's the most important thing for humanity is connection. Nobody is an island. Do you guys agree with me?
Yeah.
For example, and something very strange is happening to many countries in the world. People are not getting married anymore. People are not having children. So, and then sometimes people prefer, I prefer career. Career is more important than family. So I don't agree with that. That's why. Because we are humans. Nothing is more important than your career is not going to make you happy. More money is not going to make you happy. It's going to make your life easier, more comfortable, but not happier. So a lot of people are postponing getting married, having kids. They will regret that later. So I kind of trying to show you why you have to have a balance. Of course, you need money. I don't deny that. I need money too. I can't be trying to make money, right? But making only money is not the solution, right? So that's what my point here. You have to have a balanced life. You have to make money to support a family. But only make money and have no family, I don't understand that. And a lot, for example, I talk to a lot of students here. They say, "Oh no, I'm choosing to stay alone." I don't understand that. If you can tell me that family is not important in China, I don't believe you. For example, I have something that I want to show you, right? Okay, so that's why we should not remain alone. So, for example, if you go to my blog, right? So, for example, I talk a lot about things, marriage versus singleness. A lot of people are preferring to stay single. For example, I am a divorced man, okay? So when I go back home, it's empty. Nobody's there at home. So don't you think I miss my kids, right? So do you want to live a life like me? 40, 50 alone? Really? So you have to think about it, right? So you're making decisions for your whole life right now. You're young, you're starting, finishing university, or beginning university. So make more friends. I talk to a lot of people. They don't make friends. They're losing the opportunity, right? So for example, look around you, right? Look around yourselves. So every one of you here is at the same age. Every one of you is single. Every one of you is pursuing university degree. So here is the easiest place in the world to make friends. Right? Make friends, right? Go to the canteen. Eat with somebody that you never eat before, right? Go there and make a new friend. Right? I don't understand people make friends with their roommates and then they stop there. When was the last time you made a new friend? Very common answer. Well, when I came here to the university, I made friends with my roommates and then they stopped. No more friends. Why? I don't get it. I make a new friends almost every day. I go to the canteen and I approach them. Can we eat together? Right? Can I have your routine? So what are you studying? So make new friends, right? Maybe you can find your partner here. So that's a very nice opportunity to make friends and make more socializing. For example, friends are important in China. So this is my first year in China. I teach an English class because of teacher Yujo. So very wonderful. For example, here's Cynthia. Cynthia. She's the daughter of the chemist building director. She invited me to teach her English to her and her cousins. So I'm teaching here English to Cynthia and her cousins. And then every family, right, after I teach those kids, this was vacation time. So Mr. Thompson, her father, right? So he asked me, what are you going to do January? I said, no, nothing. I want to stay here doing nothing. Oh, can you teach my daughter English and her cousins? I said, yes. So here am I teaching her daughter, Cynthia, and her cousins. After the family came to pick up the kids, right? And then we had dinner together, lunch together, sorry. And then, this is in January. February, all the families that are teaching, those parents, they invite me to celebrate the Spring Festival together, right? So every day, one family picked me up to have lunch together, play games in the afternoon, have dinner together, they brought me home. Second day, another family. So here I see how much important family is in China. It is important everywhere. So you want to have those connections, right? You don't want to stay single your whole life. That's not very good. You guys agree with me? So I put it here. Don't tell me family relationships are not important in China. I have been to your family celebration, such as in Spring Festival. Very inspiring. I see family bonds in China are very strong, very important, right? Every Spring Festival I go home, right? To celebrate. That's awesome. So we do this in spring, we do this in Christmas. So by the end of this month, we're going to have Christmas. But I'm too far away from home, so I'm not going to go, so too bad. All right. So for example, this is also in my blog, right? If you go to my website, you can see a lot of articles that I do about dating, about making friends, right? About increasing your network, having good relationships. Because that's going to make you happy life, much better life. All right, so I have another video. You guys want to share anything before I go? Okay, I have another one. So this is important to make a family tradition. Okay, so what is a tradition? Before we watch the next video is about to making family traditions. What is a tradition? Yes. Anyone? Can you tell me what's a what is a tradition? Huh? Yeah, so what is a tradition? The family cannot talk about family tradition. But what is a tradition?
Always do one thing, and they set rules that because you do something.
Yes. So tradition is something that you do very often, regularly, right? For example, you can have a family tradition. For example, my father, they tell, we're gonna eat together at least one time a day, maybe lunchtime or dinner time. For example, family tradition, my family, every Sunday we get together. So my uncles and my aunts, they come together in my home, they bring a dish, and then we eat together so we can have a family meeting. That's also tradition, right? For example, some holidays, tradition, Spring Festival, families get together, right? It's a very traditional thing. So you guys travel back home, you want to see your parents, right? So maybe you're going to start working your professional life, but you still go home Spring Festival, that's a tradition, right? So now this video is about building a family tradition, how important that is, okay? So let's watch the video.
When I met my wife's father, I didn't know I was meeting the happiest person who has ever lived. And he told me a story that I want to make sure my children know. And here it is. He grew up in a little town called Richfield, Utah. And in Richfield, Utah, there was a little dairy there called the Ideal Dairy. And he said there was one of these days on one of these trips to the Ideal Dairy that I was picking up groceries with my mom. And he said the little doorbell rang on the door. In walked a girl about my age. And he said, I'd seen her before, but I'd never really noticed her before. He said, I was just struck by this girl. I said, were you in love? He said, no, I was 8. And I said, did she know you were staring at her? And he said, oh yeah, but she wasn't about to look over. Fast forward into high school. He said the girl was very studious, loved school, but very shy. And he said, me on the other hand, he said, I love school, but all the homework kept getting in the way of all this fun we were trying to have. Well, he was in his counselor's office one day, and he said, the counselor said to him, Rod, who are you taking to prom? And he said, oh, I don't go to those type of dances. And the counselor said, oh, that's too bad. I think every girl deserves to go to prom. And he said, I'd never thought of that. Maybe I should ask someone, but who would I ask? And he thought, I'll ask Marlene. Marlene was the little girl from the candy store who he'd always watched but never talked to. So he calls her up and he says, Marlene, this is Rod Savage. Wondering if you might go to the dance with me. He said she was speechless. She didn't say a word. I talked to her later, and she said, I didn't know who he was. She's doing this with the phone, talking to her mom. Who is Rod Savage? Right? And her mom's going, I don't know. And, he's there like, she hasn't said anything. And she said, well, okay, I'd love to go to the dance with you. And he said, that's great. Then he hangs up the phone. He thinks he's done his duty. And she said she spent the next 4 days searching the school for this guy. They go out on that date. Now, he said something magical happened when we went on this date. She laughed harder than she'd ever laughed in her entire life. Out of high school, these two get married in the St. George Temple. And they decided to start a little family, and they brought this baby home. Rod said to Marlene, this baby needs a tour of our house. And she said, he's 2 days old. And he said, it doesn't matter. He needs a tour. He's asleep. It doesn't matter. Let's go on a tour. And he took this baby on a tour of the house, every room. And he said, this is the family room. This is where we're going to have family home evening. This is the TV room. This is where we're going to watch John Wayne together. And this is the bathroom. And this is the bedroom. And he just took him through the whole house. And she rolled her eyes and followed the tour around the house. You ever had something that you just did once thinking, oh, this will be funny. And then all of a sudden you thought, we got to do that again. And we got to do that again. And all of a sudden it becomes a family tradition, the tour. So all of my kids have been on the tour. All of the grandkids have been on the tour. And Rod has always been this powerful influence for good and positivity whenever you're around him. My wife said that she went down to visit her parents, and her mother had just had some tests done, and she had stage 4 liver cancer. And she said, my dad was trying to be his positive self, his happy self, but you could tell he was struggling. The hospice nurse came over to Rod, and he said, Rod, judging from her vital signs, it looks like it's going to be very soon. So why don't we get her into bed for the last time? She was in a wheelchair there with the family. And he said, okay. And he starts to wheel this wheelchair back down the hall. When he stops, and moments of faith like this have to be recorded. They have to be passed down. He turned to his children and he said, let's take Mom on a tour. And my wife said he wheeled her around and he went first to the living room. And he knelt down in front of her and he held her hand and he said, 47 years of family home evening. How did you put up with this group? And then he took her into the TV room and he knelt down in front of her and he said, Marlene, how many shows have we watched together in here? And he knelt in front of her and he talked about each individual child and all the investment she had put into each one and how great they'd become. Then my wife said she saw her dad pick up his bride, laid her in her bed and knelt by her until she passed away. I asked him later, I said, what were you thinking at this moment? And he said, you know, she's just so great. I couldn't let her last day be sad. Look at this incredible life. And he said, I'm a happy person. I'm a happy person. I'm a cheerful person, and that's not going to change. If I need to live without her for a little while so I can appreciate her more when I get her back, I can do that. I can do that. That story needs to be told. My children need to tell that story to their children, and they need to tell that story to their grandchildren, but it depends on us telling those stories. We need to commit to making sure those stories get passed down.
Okay, here's a family, right? We start a tradition. So every child who was born, they had a tour, right? Oh, here's the bathroom, here's the TV room, here's the kitchen. So and then they took all those kids. So they started a tradition, right? For example, when she was going to die, the husband took her to a last tour, right? So that's a very touching story, right? If they don't preserve the story, that will be lost. So my question to you is there any story in your family that you want it to be preserved for future generations to tell? So you can write it down. You can upload to this website. You can upload videos, photos, story texts, right? You can go there, volunteer to do indexing. So I did a lot of this. So a lot of my family is there. Because I want my grandkids, great-grandkids, maybe people in the future that I don't even know there was not born yet. I want to preserve those stories for my future generations. And also it's nice, for example, when I saw the story of my grandpa, it's so touching to see what my grandpa did, what my grandma did, so their life inspires me. So that's my question. Do you guys have any story that you wanted to preserve for future generations? Anyone? Do you understand this video, right? So today is not video, for example, usually English quarter, you come here, make a new friend and practice, right? So but I thought, well, since we're going to do this class, I thought I would prepare something. I've had this class prepared before. So I thought it was a nice activity. Maybe you want to do something volunteer with your time. So this is something that you can do. So we're getting to the end here. I have a few more videos, but we're getting to the end. So let's see what's next here. Yes, the PPT is finished. I just have a few more videos about this. So why it's important. So we have one here. Okay, before I show you more video, because some people they need to go late, right? And they need to go. But the most important thing I already showed you. So I do have one more experience from a Chinese girl. I want to show this video to you before I finish. But do you guys have any? Do you guys like what we talked here today? Did you like the idea of doing this? I think it is nice, very nice, right? So maybe nobody's doing this in your family. Maybe you're going to be the first one. Start writing stories, take some pictures, uploading the website, right? So put your family story there, so it will be preserved, right? So this is a genealogical organization. They started in Utah 125 years ago. So they're doing this all over the world. So I want to show you one last video. We can watch the other one if you wanted to, but one about the Chinese girl.
When I was little, I told everyone my name was Angie. It wasn't really, but it was easier this way. My real name sounded so foreign. It singled me out every roll call, every time I met someone new, and I didn't want that. I wanted to fit in, to belong. My parents made every effort to teach me Chinese, but I was stubborn. Everyone around me spoke English anyway, except Ye. Every time he spoke to me, I just had my parents translate. Most of the time, he'd just comment on how skinny I was or how vegetables would really help my acne. Needless to say, we didn't really connect. When I was called to serve an LDS mission to Taiwan, I was so excited. I would be able to walk the very streets my parents walked in their youth, speak their language, connect with my family's culture. But the longer I taught the people around me, the people that looked like me, the more I realized they didn't really view me as one of them. It was like I was halfway between two worlds, and I didn't really belong to either. When I returned home, I had the unique responsibility to take care of my Ye. I took him shopping. I took him to hospitals and pharmacies. I even took him to his own prostate exam. But this time, my parents weren't around to translate. So I talked to him myself.
你感觉在美国过生活怎么样？
你平常跟我们打麻将，你很快乐吗？
对啊，很快乐。
爷爷，你觉得天堂是怎么样的？
这个我怎么讲？
It was like a door had opened to me. A person was unfolded to me. I realized, as much as I felt like a fish out of water in Taiwan, he felt the same way living in America. So as two misfits, we connected. Belonging doesn't mean fitting in or being the same as everyone else. Everyone is as multifaceted as a jewel or a raindrop with varying cultures and experiences. Belonging is reaching across those differences to connect. In this way, I belong and have always belonged to my crazy, mixed up culture family. My name isn't Angie, it's Enji. And my Chinese name is Chen En-chi.
Is Chen En-chi.
How do you like this one? Right? So she's connecting with his grandpa, right, from Taiwan. All right, so the English corner speech, this is what I have prepared. I thought it was a nice thing to share with you guys because I'm doing this for my own family, right? So I have an account in this website. I have a lot of things in my own family because I wanted it to be preserved, right? So the same thing I wanted to kind of put here. I don't know how many of you knew about this, right? This is a nice thing to do. And also, I kind of talked to a lot of students here. So please try to make more friends. Your life is going to be better. So if you have more friends, more connection. This is called networking, right? So if you have more, if you know more people, right? So you're going to find a job easier. You're going to be more happier in your life. Maybe you're going to find a partner, right? So if you, for example, a lot of people, they don't want to get married. I understand, because a lot of people are getting divorced. You don't want to, for example, if you stay single, life is in the middle. This is what I tell everybody, in the middle. If you marry the wrong person, life is going to be worse. So nobody wants their life to be worse, right? So that's why a lot of people are afraid to get married. I don't know the other person. I think it's the wrong one. If I marry him, my life is going to be worse. So you see a lot of people divorcing around you, right? So that's why people are becoming afraid. It's becoming expensive to have kids, to get married. I understand that. But if you marry the right person, life can be so much better. So, and then people tell me, how can I find the right person? So that's a good question. So how can you find a good person? So that's why, for example, I show you a picture here, right? So here, the answer is here. How can you find a good person? I'm going to show you. For example, people are dating the wrong way. This is how can you find a good person, by dating them, right? For example, dating is the process of going out with somebody, right? So, and then when you're going out with somebody, pay attention. Pay attention what's your partner, what's your companion is doing. So is he lying to you? Is he an honest person? Does he respect you, right? Did he ever hit you, right? Right? If he's a good person, he's probably going to be a good husband. For example, I tell these students here, right? I am a teacher, right? So I see some of my students sitting in the front row. They pay attention to the class. They do the homework. They participate in class. They talk to me. They never get late to the classroom. They study hard. Okay? And then there's other kind of students. They sit in the back of the class. They're playing games all the time. They don't do the homework. They don't participate. They get late. They miss classes. If I have to predict who is going to be successful? Who is going to be successful? The first two or the second one? First, right? So the same is dating. So if your boyfriend respects you, supports you, don't lie to you, he's going to be a good husband. But if he's lying to you, he's being deceiving, treating you bad, hitting you, he's going to be a bad person. So nothing is 100%, but this is going to increase your chances of finding a good person. So a lot of people are dating today for the fun of it. They're not paying attention. They're dating, but they're not paying attention to their partner to see if there's a good or bad person. So date with a purpose to get to know the other person if it's a good or bad person. That's the key, right? Don't be afraid to be happy. You have only one life, right? Preserve the story of your family, put social skills, try to develop some social skills. University is very easy, right? Because when you finish here one day, you're going to start working. So people in your company are going to be older, they're going to be married, they're going to have kids. So it's not very easy to connect with them because they're different than you. But here, everybody's the same. Everybody's single, the same age, university students. You have a lot in common. For example, I am older than you, I have been married, I have 2 kids, I have not many things in common to you, but it's, even for me, it's easy to make friends here. So I don't understand why you tell me, no, it's not easy, I'm shy, I don't know how to talk to girls, right? I have lots of boys come to me, teacher, can you help me get a girlfriend? Right? That's true, right? A lot of you boys, I get to talk to you in the canteen. Someone will open up to me, teacher, I'm here for 2 years, I don't have a girlfriend. What? Can you help me? So you have to be more courageous, right? Put your courage and start doing things, develop socially, right? University is not only for a degree. I understand you come here to have a degree. That's important. But you can do so much more. Okay? So I want to finish the English corner here. So I hope you enjoyed today. If you want to, I don't know, stay longer or make stuff some friends here. But that's it. I wish you have enjoyed this class very much. Thank you. Usually English corner is not like this. So today I have to teach you a lesson, right? But usually English corner is when you come here, you sit with somebody that you don't know. For example, you probably know each other, right? So if you know, for example, next English corner, you sit with somebody that you don't know, right? So to make a new friend and start talking in English to practice. That's what English corner is. But today I did a little bit different. So, okay.